And so we're back in the shed again. Well, at least we're out of the tree.
One ring to rule them all, one ring to frighten them, one ring to break them all, and let the darkness bind them.
Hello and welcome to Battle Streams of Middle Earth, and welcome to Damian's hobby vlog number 5, I think, but I'm recording loads of these at the same time, so it's hard to tell. Yes, indeed, this is the second part of my journey to the SBG photoshoot and GT. If you want the full context for these two vlogs, make sure you go and watch part 1, which hopefully went up, it's really tricky at this point, but hopefully went up about a week ago or so. Let's do before we jump in, let's do a quick recap. In mid-January I started this process of focusing in on everything that I need to get painted for the photo shoot for issue 12 of SBG magazine and for the GT, which are kind of the same stuff. I'm getting everything prepared for both of those. When I started I had 5 weeks until the photo shoot. The last vlog, part 1, covered the first 3 weeks of those. And it went quite well. I was feeling quite good at the end. I'm not going to dwell on the past victories of the first part of the blog, but in those first 3 weeks I managed to get Amon Hen completely cleaned up and assembled and painted. I managed to get my Dwarad Elf scenery assembled and finished, and I managed to get my 2 cave trolls and my Watcher in the Water completely kind of cleaned up, assembled and primed and all that sort of stuff. So those things are all done, and now where we are is Sunday the 6th of February. And this is part 2 as we try and get to the photo shoot. So this is going to cover the next 2 weeks. So just to confirm, let's make sure I get this right. The photo shoot begins on Friday the 18th of February. So by my reckoning, so 8, 9, 10, 11, I've got 11 evenings to go. By the way I see it, mate, 12 evenings I think it is, to go. With a few of them already taken up by social things. So I don't have 2 weeks really, because I'm working and everything, I've got kids. I've got 12 evenings to finish the projects on time. This does remind me of when I started the End vlogs, and I was like, this is impossible to do in that time, and it kind of feels like that again. I was pleased with what I did in the first 3 weeks, like definitely, but I don't think I did enough. So we're going to see if past Damian has left present Damian an impossible task at this stage. So what's to come? What do we have to do? Well, we've basically got 2 separate projects. The first of them is Balin's tomb. I have my 2 cave trolls, who I think they've been primed since the last time you saw them. So you can see that as of right now, these have not started to be painted. They need to be painted. Also, I need to create a Balin's tomb setup. I'm not going to go into it too much because I talked about it in some detail in the previous video. But as of right now, my Balin's tomb setup, my Balin's tomb display board looks like this. So not ideal really, but that's the Balin's tomb. That's how far we've got in Balin's tomb. We've basically got to build the board, and we've got to paint the cave trolls. And then the other thing we have to do is we have to paint this guy, Gribbles McGee, Gribbles McSplashbash, who again has been primed since last time you saw her. I think I like a her for this. So the Watcher in the Water. I've also got the, oh no, it's fine, don't worry, it's just the base that dropped out, she's alright. I've also got the Watcher in the Water's base, which is annoyingly complicated with a bunch of dead dwarfs on it. So I've got to get that painted, and since the last time you saw me, I believe this has arrived from my friend Mr. Steve Crow. I'm not sure how well that's reading, but this is the Gates of Moria, little Gates of Moria piece that he's lent me to for the scenery. So what we also have to do is build a cliff for this to sit in to be a backdrop for some of those photos. So remember, at the moment we're building everything towards photos for SBG. So the Balin's tomb set is being done ready for a photo, and I need a cliff. I need a big cliff of Moria to put this into. So that's kind of what we do. I've also got to finish Celeborn. Celeborn was started, as I said, it's Sunday the 6th. I think is that right? Sunday the 6th? Yes, it is. But I started Celeborn on Friday stream, which was what must have been on the 4th, I presume. So I've got to get him finished at some point. but if you just ignore Celeborn, there's basically two projects. There's the Trolls in Balin's Tomb, and there's the Watcher in the Gates of Moria. But what I've decided to do is try, I think, and concentrate and finish one of them rather than doing the models or the scenery first. So my thinking here is that I do, if I do the Trolls and Balin's Tomb first, probably this first week, he said optimistically, and then the Watcher and the Cliff next week. And my thinking there is that if I finish the Trolls and Balin's Tomb, we can take the photos in Balin's Tomb. If I finish, it would work the other way around. If I finish the Watcher and the Cliff, we can take those photos. If I finish the Trolls and the Watcher, we can't take any of the photos. If I finish the Balin's Tomb set and the Cliff, we can't take any of the photos. So I'm trying to complete one essentially, and I think I'll probably do the Trolls first. So yeah, that's the kind of plan. Like 12 days, so 6 days. God knows how. I'm not even going to try and break that down because it'll just upset me. But that's what we'll be doing going forwards. Counting down the time. There might be some shed-based content which I know people enjoy, but yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything we've got to cover. There's a lot to do. I'm not sure if I'll get it done. I'm a bit nervous, if I'm honest, but you know, we can only crack on, can't we? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get stuck into everything. I hope you enjoy the second part, and hopefully I'll see you on the morning of, is it Friday the 18th? Friday the 18th, about to head off to the photo shoot with a load of cool stuff that as of yet doesn't really exist. But yeah, I'll see you there. Let's go. So it's update time, and we've got a brand new update. Look, it's Balin's Tomb, or half of it at least. So calendar update is currently Saturday, which is Saturday the was it the 12th? Saturday the 12th of February. I'm not even sure if there's been an update yet. I can't remember everything. I'm shooting everything kind of in such a weird order. Is this the first update since the intro to this video? I don't know. But suffice to say, it is Saturday the 12th, which means there is only basically a week to the photo shoot. I'm going on Friday, so what have I got? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I guess, for 6 evenings to go. That's a hysterical thing to say out loud. And not a lot has been done on the project in the last few days, but I made some good progress on this last night. I would have said at the start, the kind of point of this, that this is being built entirely to at the start of one of the videos at least, this is being built entirely to be included in 2 photos in the magazine, and then also to become my display board for the GT as a kind of bonus use of it afterwards. But here it is. This is the second day I've worked on it. So they weren't consecutive days, but the first day I basically cut all the parts ready for it, and then last night, late on Friday night, I had a hobby hangout with some of our patrons. And fueled by Rioja, I kind of smashed this out in one night because I really had to. So I just kind of glued it all together. So this is what we've got, and we can hopefully see we've got a kind of foam Celotex like base layer, and then that kind of iconic little walkway along the edge. This is just the standard Celotex, about 2 inches deep. This I cut to about 1.5 inches. I was originally using the full block, so it would be the same thickness as this, and when I put it here, it just looked like slightly too tall. I kind of looked at some of the pictures about how big the kind of hero should be. I think I've got a crappy elf here. Just put a model on there. You can sort of see his height. I'll put him right up next to the wall. You can kind of see his height on it there. That looked about right to the movie. It was when it was another 1/2 inch here. It not only got a bit big on these pillars, but it also it just looked a bit silly, I thought. So that's the kind of Celotex wall around there. I've put the edge all the way around here is just foam board. I can tip that forward for you can see. It's just a foam board kind of shell sitting inside a picture frame. I added this kind of bar around here, to be honest, just to make just for a bit of interest. Just to kind of break up the back wall, so there's a bit of kind of design on it. I did have an idea that maybe I would put that kind of dwarven pattern on it, maybe if I get time, but God knows I haven't got time, so we'll have to see about that. So I did that, and then once the foam board and kind of foam was in place, I basically just used the plastic Mines of Moria terrain. So I used the kind of really iconic bits. That's actually loose, that doesn't stay on there. You can see that I've got the door's been punched through this wall here, so you can actually see through it. The idea being there, I don't know if it's worth doing, but the idea being there that you could actually have a model halfway through the door, or maybe even be able to see something. You know, there might be a shot kind of looking out of the door, and that way we can dress that for the photo shoot, which would be quite good fun. I also put the tomb in, obviously, the well in, obviously, and then 4 of these columns. This is what they do in the movie. I'd never do this if I was doing playability for the game. Whenever you see a board of it built to play over, there's always a gap between the wall and the column, so you can kind of run a model behind them. But I was looking at the movie, and they're built into this ledge in the film. So I decided to do that because this is only for display. It's never going to be used for gaming on. Well, I suppose you could play a little kind of half version of it, couldn't you? You could do a kind of small version as an intro game potentially. So that's what's going on there. And of course, the main point of this, as I said, is that we want to shoot in. So you're going to get a picture along the bottom. This is so cool to be thinking about this, because it will happen that whenever we release it, hopefully in May, there'll be a double page spread where this will be along the bottom, and this is what you can't do if you've got a normal board. You know, you can't shoot straight into the tomb. So that's the kind of point of this. And we built the door, so it'll be something like that. I reckon that will be the kind of angle where you're seeing all the way along. You're seeing the tomb. Gimli will probably stand on the tomb. Legolas will probably be up here or something on the wall, and you know there'll be goblins running in through the door. So it'll be something like that. So I put those in. I glued one of the trapdoors in here just for a bit of interest. And then what I have got is I've got another set of the pillars, and these are going to go on here. And I know I've seen loads of people do this sort of thing over the years, and I know they don't naturally look like they're extending, but you just put them upside down and you get this full height. You get well, not full height necessarily, but a bit more height going up there to get these extra pillars. And they're going to be put in there because, again, if I kind of show you the angle that we'll probably go for, which will be something like that, that would be the picture. By the time you put a model here, they're going to be taller than the columns. So for the benefits of the photograph, you're going to need the columns to kind of come up like this and come up like this. So that's what we'll be doing there. They'll just be going, and then by the time you get to this bit here, if you imagine, I'll just balance that there, that should work. So if you imagine let's try and do this with perspective. Is that going to work by any chance? Just looking at the camera screen, that looks alright. And that looks alright. So you'd get a picture something like that, and then by the time you get up here to where the tops of the columns and this bit are, it will have faded to black and you'll get the text. So the text will probably come down to about here, but that way you get to put a kind of normal sized model like your Legolas in there, and you'll still have columns coming up either side of them. So that's the kind of point behind that. So there we go. It's very basic. Don't get me wrong. It's not particularly fancy, but I'm pretty happy with it. There's been no disaster so far. That's drying. The next step is I'm going to cover it all in polyfiller, so it's all sealed. I'm then going to cover it all in textured paint for a bit of really cheap and easy texture, and then I'm just going to paint it probably following the same paint scheme I did for the Amon Hen and everything, just so I don't have to think too hard about it. There's a lot to do on it, but I'm not too worried about getting this done. I feel like this is now going to get finished pretty easy. Bizarrely, I think the bits that'll be the most annoying are like the doors and the dwarf and the trapdoor, which will kind of need painting, which I'm sure is going to really irritate me probably on Thursday night. But I'm quite confident that we'll get this done in time for the photo shoot. Whether or not I'll also be able to build a cliff and a pool for the Watcher and paint the Mines of Moria doors and finish the Watcher in the water and finish 2 cave patrols, all of which are currently pretty much unstarted, is another matter. But we can be excited about this for now, and hopefully we'll come back soon with a more positive update for something else. So, progress update. Dana, I have a Gate of Moria, kind of. I've got some foam board and insulation foam glued together. So here you go. This is still progress. To give you an update, it's Monday. I did all this last night, so I've currently got 4 evenings before the photo shoot. Which is terrifying, truly terrifying. Balin's tomb is no further along than you saw it last time either. But I just wanted to show you this to show you the sort of thing we're doing. With apologies, I'm recording all these bits kind of as I go, and days and weeks apart and stuff, and I forget quite what I've said. But as I go through this, I'll also be explaining why it is the size it is, essentially. So this is the Gates of Moria. Basically, what you've got is an L shape of foam board down here. There's a foam board base and there's a foam board back to it, and then I've got this massive 2 bits of insulation foam here at the back, forming the cliff. There's then a 2-inch high bit of insulation foam here, forming the base. There's then a 1-inch high piece of insulation foam here, and then there is, of course, our old faithful polystyrene ceiling tiles, glued on top of that to give the water effect. I've put the watcher on here. I've done a bit of work on him actually. I might just bring him up there while we're talking about him to show you, because I'm not sure when we'll do this, but I'm not sure how well he'll come up. But he's at the kind of, I mean, to be honest, he might do at this stage, but he's just had washes done. So the underbody of him in there was done with. Do you know what I'm going to do? I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to try and change the lighting in here. So anyway, I might show you this upstairs in more detail at some point, but the underside of him was done, just to show you while he's at this level. This kind of pinky stuff was just done. I think it was Rakarth flesh shaded with Guilliman flesh, then dry brushed with Rakarth flesh, dry brush with Kislev flesh and Rakarth flesh, and then the carapace, everything else which is green, has been done with Deathworld forest, and then shaded with a mix of the 2 contrast paints, Plaguebearer green and Militarum green. So that's the stage he's at there, and then I'm going to start kind of working up some highlights as and when I get the chance. But there's the watcher as he is now. Not sure if I've shown you this before, but I also built this custom painting handle for him. I might have shown it, apologies if I have, where I took like a cavalry base, bent a bit of metal, and then drilled up into his body underneath there to kind of get that in, just so I can hold him off the base while I'm painting him. But yeah, there we go. There's the watcher. He is coming along. So with the Moria gate, you can see here. I think the thing I showed you, Steve's Moria door that he sent down, which is still very much not painted at all, not even sprayed. So work needed on that as well. That is going to sit here. It's going to sit further back. It will be more akin to that level. It'll be something like that. So that circle that's drawn on the board over there, that is where that gate will sit when it's recessed into the board. The size of it does matter. We've got a couple of pictures in plan. One, we've got a kind of essentially a picture straight like this, kind of straight on with the fellowship in front of the gates, which would need to be here. So that's fine. So we need a bit of water here. We need a bank. We need enough room here to arrange the fellowship, sort of 2 ranks of fellowship, we figured. It's worth saying as well, there's this inch long, you can probably see a line coming along here, which I'm not sure if you can read, it's got bank scratched into it. That's going to be the slope. So from there to there is going to be kind of carved down and be the slope into the water. So the fellowship will be there and there. That's where the fellowship will actually be standing for that photo. That's one photo, which is fair enough. We've also got plans to have a double page spread where it's going along the bottom of the page, and it's the whole wall and the whole pool. And what we don't know is essentially where the Gate of Moria is going to be. If the Gate of Moria is right in the middle, imagine it on the stapled line of the magazine, then you need a bit here for one page and a bit here for the other page. But the downside of that is it means that the Gate of Moria is split by the centrefold, which we're not sure if we want yet. And if we don't want that, imagine this line now is the centrefold of the magazine. So the Gate of the Moria would be there. You need a bit here to be the rest of the page, and then you need all this cliff here to be the other page. So that's why it needs to be that long. So that's how it's been designed for that. Also, the other thing, again, apologies if I said this, I really don't know, but it's currently Monday before the photo shoot. As of this time next week, we, assuming it all goes well, we will have taken photos on this, and I will be destroying this. That'll be in the next hobby vlog, because this is then going to become part of my display board for the GT. And so the next thing I had to think about was making sure I made things as easy as possible for myself next week. So again, with this being about here, if you imagine that now this line where I've marked it out with this is going to be where my display board ends. That Balin, that's the back of Balin's tomb, if that makes sense, just here. That will be where Balin's tomb ends. So then what I'm going to do is get a massive saw all this down here, and then this, if I put the watcher on there, that's where the wash, this is now the water is the width of the watcher's base. I've planned that out, so the base fits here. So this would be the edge of my display board. So then what I need is enough cliff here to basically turn and put along here. Yeah? So there will now be, in the display board, we'll have something like this, and then this cliff will be kind of sawed off and glued that way in an L shape to form a back of the display board. So that was the other consideration about the size of it. I needed to make sure I had enough cliff over here to fill in that bit there. So yeah, it's all a bit mad. That's what I'm thinking. It's a very, very surreal thing to be surreal concept to be kind of desperately trying to get this finished in the absolute certainty that I'm probably going to be destroying it this time next week for the next project. But you know, such is life. I'm really, really worried, if I'm honest. It's very, very, very late in the day. Tonight is an absolutely crucial night. Tonight I'm taking this to the shed. I'm going to be carving this into a really crappy rough cliff shape. I'm just going to be carving bits out the front just to roughen it up. I'm going to have to carve this hole in to make sure this slots back and fits into it. And then once that's not a small job, and once that's done, I've then got to polyfiller all of this, and I've got to polyfiller Balin's too. That's what I've got to do tonight. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to be in the shed from about kind of I don't know, 9 p.m. till about midnight at this stage, but we'll see. It's going to be a very crappy night for me tonight, but that's the kind of plan. This all needs to be polyfilled by tonight, and frankly, if it's not polyfilled by tonight, then there's just absolutely no chance of me getting it finished in time for the weekend. So we'll see. I hope this is fun. Follow along, seeing if this can possibly work, but we'll see. So hopefully, I think my next bit of content will be from the shed tonight, and I'll see you there. Okay, and here we are in the shed. I know you guys love some shed-based content, so I thought I had to do a shed-based update. So, give you a little timing update. I think the last time we spoke would have been Sunday night, when I just finished assembling the cliff, and I was very, very excited. And then I needed Monday night to go really well, which was last night. And Monday night I did absolutely nothing. I was just exhausted basically from Sunday night, staying up too late working on it, and I just zonked and I did nothing on any of the projects, which is a disaster. But you know, I'm not immortal. At some point, it all comes crashing down. You know, it is what it is. But today is more crucial than ever. And as you can see now, don't know how much shown up, but the cliffs of Moria are carved. Check that out. There we go. What I've now done, you've seen the whole thing assembled before, and just really, really quickly tonight, all I've done is basically take a knife and a saw to these cliffs and just rip loads of it out. So I just did it really, really quickly. I've also made this big hole here, which is where our gate of Moria will sit. That slides into there, like that. So when you take a photo front on, should look pretty cool. And in the back, I've left a big hole where at some point in the future, I say some point in the future, some point this week, I'm going to stick the lights inside it, so I've got some access for that. I very nearly forgot to do that, and that would have been an absolute disaster. So there we go. So that's gone pretty well tonight. That's been good fun. It was quite easy. It's currently just gone 11 p.m. and I had 3 things to do tonight in the shed, and I wanted to do an hour each, and it was going from 10 to 1 in the morning. The first one was carving this, which I've now done, so I'm pleased with that, and it took an hour. And then what I've got to do is polyfiller all of this and polyfiller all of Balin's tomb, and I'm hoping that they take an hour each. I mean, there's no reason to assume they'll take an hour each, as opposed to a lot longer than that, but I've basically got an hour, so that's the success. So tonight started well. I'm quite positive, and I still think it's going to be really tough, but I think there's an outside chance of getting things done if I can get the polyfillering done tonight. If I don't get the polyfillering done tonight, it's all over. So my hope is I'm now going to get covered in polyfiller down here. I'm going to make a horrible, horrible mess. But I hope I'll be able to come back to you at the turn of the tide in 2 hours or so at 1 in the morning. So great success, we've polyfilled it, there's a chance the project will keep going. Shed update, it's not that cold to be honest, it's quite pleasant in here tonight, but it is raining, so it's wet outside, so that's a bit grim. But yeah, it's I'm pretty good, and I'm not I'm bleeding a little bit, unexpected bleeding, but not as unexpected as last time, so that's progress I suppose. So there we go, pretty positive I think, and I'm gonna get messy now and see what happens. So hopefully see you in 2 hours, feeling pretty excited about the situation. We shall see. Ta-da! And we are done. Nearly bang on schedule. It is 1:10 past 1. When I came out here, I was hoping to finish by 1, and as you can see, we are done. The entire cliff of Moria has been polyfilled. And inside Balin's tomb has also been polished filler, so I moved that in to let it start to dry. So that's it. The polyfilling got done on schedule. We're now in the hands of the gods. I'm going to take them both inside, put them in the warm, and they need to dry overnight. And hopefully, if the polyfiller is dried rock hard in the morning, then we can get on with the next stage. But I'm pretty happy. Seeing it all together now looks cool. The foam's covered up and everything. I need to give it a sand down in the morning, but I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, and I think it will do the job. So still a long way to go yet, and still a bunch of things that could go wrong, but definitely tonight was a successful day. So that's it done. I hope you've enjoyed Shed Report. I think this might be the only shed segment, because I don't think we're going to be shed based for much more of it. But yeah, I'm going to go inside, wash up, and have some curry leftovers and a victory beer. But hopefully we'll see you maybe tomorrow with an update on how far these pieces have got since then. But huzzah! So it's time for an update. I think it's been a few days since I actually filmed anything, but it is currently technically Friday night, Friday the 18th, I think. Last time I spoke to you, you would expect to me that Friday the 18th was the deadline. It was the day we were due to be at the photo shoot, but things kind of fairly inevitably got out of hand, and earlier in the week we took the decision to delay it by a week. So I spoke to Tom and just said there's no way I'm going to get everything done. I need that extra evening to work on stuff. So yeah, this is deadline day. This is the end of 5 weeks. As you can see, it's still not done. The reason that's a real issue is technically it's Saturday, so it's currently midnight. I'll give you an update on where everything is, but it is midnight and things are not done, and there's still a fairly long way to go. So what you can hopefully see is a fairly significant bit of progress. I'm just turning this around on both Balin's tomb and the gates of Moria. I can't remember the last time we saw this. I think maybe when they'd been sanded and texture painted. As you can see, they've both had a lot of paint on them, they've both had a lot of coats. I've been following, again for these guys, the painting guide in Quest of the Ring Bearer for Weathertop, just so I didn't have to think about it. But the only difference I made was that when I got to the stage where you dry brush the whole thing Morphan Brang, and then dry brush the whole thing Xandri Dust, and then keep going, and on the cliff here and on Balin's tomb I swapped Xandri Dust out for a grey. I've got my test pots here. It's this one. This one isn't actually colour matched to a colour, but it's kind of a Mechanicus standard brown, something like that. And I just did that for the Moria gates to make it look, I think it'll end up looking greyer as opposed to the slightly creamy effect that Weathertop and Enamel Hen have, just to make it look a bit different. Because I think we associate grey with the Moria rock a little bit more. So that's been done to there, so that's mid-painting. There are 2 dry brushes left to go. I'm going to say that the water's done, the ground is done here, there's 2 dry brushes left to go on the cliff and on Balin's tomb, which should be fairly quick. And then I've got about an hour of detailing to do on the tomb. I reckon there's an irritating amount of books around here. There's the door, the trapdoor, the skeleton, those sort of things. I'm hoping that takes me about an hour. And then I'm saying about an hour's texturing work, which is just kind of gluing down flocks and that sort of stuff. So I genuinely think this is still about 4 hours away. I doubt I can keep going to 4 AM, so we're probably looking at carrying on into the morning. Elsewhere, what are the other updates on the models? The gates here as well. You probably haven't seen this in a while, I think, but this is, again, it's not finished, but it's probably about as far as it's going to get. It's my attempt to do this. It hasn't quite worked out as well as I hoped it would with the gate, but I think we'll be able to do something with it. But that's the gate that Steve kindly lent me. It's going to slide into that gap there. The Watcher is nearly finished. I'll show you a clip of him. He's very, very close, mostly finished. I think maybe half an hour on him. And Celeborn, again, is about the same. I think I've probably got about an hour of painting upstairs to do as well. What's that, 5 AM? And the cave trolls have been abandoned. Cave trolls were just a step too far. I couldn't do them. And what was incredibly helpful was Dave Fredericks has provided something super cool for this issue that you'll see in the magazine. And he came down on Wednesday to bring it. And he also donated his converted dead cave troll to the project, which was really, really cool. And just on the off chance, he said, I've got the others all painted, do you want me to bring them? And thank God I said on Wednesday, yes. So Dave has brought down all 3 metal cave trolls painted beautifully, and they're all painted in the same scheme, so they all look the same. So we're going to use those cave trolls, because mine mine haven't got any further than the base coat. So that's good. So I didn't get the cave trolls done, and they're certainly not going to be done. But they've been abandoned tragically. But at least we'll have some nice cave trolls. So that's where we are. I'm knackered. I'm exhausted. Everything was going well, and then God love my family, my beautiful, beautiful children. I had a bad night tonight and kind of derailed all our plans in the evening, and so I had less time to do it. And now here I am, somewhere in the region of 4 to 5 hours away from finishing the project, and as I said, it's just gone midnight, so I doubt I'll do any more updates tonight, but hopefully you'll see me in the morning after doing a bit more or something, I don't know, and we'll be done, and then I'll be heading, then I'll have to pack the car and head off to the photo shoot, and we're just going to have to try and fit into a day and a half what we normally fit into 3 days, and hope we get through everything. So I'm happy with how things are going and how they're looking, but I'm feeling a bit bleak about the project at the moment, if I'm only honest. But hopefully tomorrow will bring, dawn is ever the hope of men. So I'll see you on the other side and see how we go. So Balin's tomb is now finished. Huzzah! I can't remember the last time I spoke to you honestly. Was it last night about midnight when this was a bit brown or something? But it has been dry brushed away, dry brushed to death, and it is now finished. And I gotta say, I'm pretty pleased with this. Let's not forget this has taken a week. Yeah, it was started on Friday night. Got some bits of slate left, I know. It was started on Friday night, and it was finished on Saturday morning. So it's a board in a week, which I'm going to say is pretty good going. I think these columns have probably been added on since last time you saw it. I can't honestly remember when I glued them on, but the idea is that they'll make sense when you see photographs on the issue. I know they look a bit weird now, but it just helps us to kind of extend the shots up. Like I say, wait and see the magazine, it'll all make sense. But yeah, so it was just dry brushed again. Apologies if I'm repeating what I've said. This is just I'm filming so many bits of this in different places. But this was just following the guide for house paint Weathertop in Quest of the Ring Bearer by Rob, which was to prime it black, base coat it dryad bark, and then you're meant to do Xandri dust, but for my Moria stuff I then went with a dark grey, so it's then dry brushed dark grey, and then dry brushed Ricard flesh, and then dry brushed pallid witch flesh. And then the bit that really brings it to life, it looked fine, but it did look very kind of white, and hopefully, I'm not sure how well it's showing up here, but if I bring it in, hopefully you'll get to see that there's different colours. Hopefully you can see some sort of yellow hues and brown hues and red hues and all that sort of stuff in there and in the corners. And that's all just done with washes. I used 4 on this, I think. I used Drakenhof Nightshade, Caribou Crimson, Seraphim Sepia and Athenian Camoshade. So it was basically red, green, yellow and blue. And just really watered them down and just daubed them on everywhere. And I think it looks great. I haven't textured it. I didn't really have anything suitable. I thought maybe I'd have some like black flock or something, but I didn't. But I don't think it needs it, because I think those washes give it that kind of the textured appearance, give the appearance of kind of moss or growth or something like that. So I just daubed that on all over the place, and then I obviously picked out the details. There's no tricky stuff with the columns or the well. That's just the plastic. There's a little trapdoor over here that had to be kind of like painted out, and then all the infuriating little details around the tomb, like the books and the dwarf and all that, which are just the sort of thing you don't want to paint at this point. And then we've also got the door, obviously, coming in there, which needs the like kind of details painting. So they were all done extremely quickly. I think it was basically just a base coat. I used a bit of contrast and then one highlight and everything. So they're not the best by any means, but they work. But I've got to say, I'm pretty pleased with this. Like I say, particularly for a week, but just generally, this more than does the job. It's come out really well. So again, thanks to Rob for certainly to my mind the painting guide I've used more than any other ever by anyone of anything. It works really well, and that's become my go-to sort of scenery painting guide, as it were. But I'm really, really pleased. We'll be taking some photos in it, shooting straight on like that, so you'll be shooting straight into the tomb, so hopefully there'll be some really cool pictures. You might also have noticed I've still got the masking tape around the base. And the reason for that is, as of yet, you won't see the base. So it will be a display board. I will be taking it to the GT, at which point I'll be taking it off. But I'm also, as I've talked about, I think, apologies if I haven't, going to be plugging some bit of the watcher board on here. So this is still going to be kind of around paint and around filler and that sort of stuff. So I just thought it was worth keeping this on to just protect it for a little bit longer. So the masking tape will be off probably in the next part of the vlog, in part 3, when we do that part of it. But until then, this is quite cool. A Balin's tomb in a week, which I'm really, really pleased with. So yeah, promising signs here, all's going well, and hopefully we'll see you soon with another update. Progress! Yes! It's all going to happen. Everything's going to be fine because Celeborn is finished. Hooray! So here we go. Let's have a cheeky look. Hopefully he's coming out all right now. I think he looks all right. Celeborn's finished. This is a super speed paint for me. It's a speed paint that was done over the course of about 2 weeks. I only did a couple of evenings on him, but yeah, I think I spent 2 evenings working on him, painting him up, trying to match my Galadriel from Battle Streams, and I'm pretty pleased with him. He's not anything special. He's not going to win me any awards, but he looks quite good. I snapped a couple of photos and he looks all right. The eyes came out all right. It wasn't too bad. And he's going to be kind of relatively small in one picture in SBG, so he's more than good enough. I quite like the colour scheme. God knows how I did it. I just mixed up a load of greens and whites and just went with it. He came out all right. He was good fun. And whilst I need him for one picture, I need him for one picture for magazine, but that is it. After that, I've got absolutely no need for him, just like the Metal Galadriel. And so this very much feels like a Battle Streams model. This is very much in the vein of kind of clearing our backlogs. And getting this cool model that I have no need for and no reason for, just painted up for the fun of it, and that way we get to stick him in one photo in issue 12 SBG, and then he'll be immortalised in print forever while he goes and dies in a figure case somewhere, never to see the light of day again. But pleased to get Celeborn done, and pretty happy with him. But the good news is that's not the only update, because there is a little more exciting update. Nom 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 nom. I just want to be friends with you. I'm really quite nice. Huzzah! Gribbles McSplash Splash is finished, and I'm super excited about this. Let's see if we zoom. Is that going to be nice? Are we happy with that? Indeed, the Watcher in the Water is completely finished, and I've got to say, I'm really bloody pleased with this. I had very, very little time to do it, all being told. You know, I know you saw a hobby vlog where like 4 weeks ago, and a lot of people say, well, 4 weeks is enough time, and that's true. But I was doing a lot of other stuff, and she was basically, I reckon, painted in a week, like really. You know, I did a lot of the assembly work in the first 3 weeks, I think in their first blog, so she was done. And then I had 2 weeks to paint her, and I was concentrating on other stuff. So all told, I painted her in about a week, and I think she's great. I'll lift her up and kind of show off a few bits and pieces. So there's a lovely, lovely face. She's completely misunderstood. I just want a hug. That's all she's trying to do. She's just trying to reach out and touch love. She just wants a hug and a cuddle. But lovely, lovely detailing on the face that kind of came out quite well. I was pleased with the eyes, pleased with the mouth, and these weird sort of, what are these gills in here or something? But it was quite cool. There's lovely, lovely details down the butt. This was really good. I just did the bulk of this with kind of shades and dry brush. I think it was Deathworld Forest base, and then the two of the green contrasts mixed up. Militarum green and Plaguebearer Flesh. I just slopped them on to shade it. Then dry brushed it Elysium green, I think, and then I think I dry brushed it Nurgling green and dry brushed it Rakarth Flesh, I think. So just kind of 3 dry brushes over a base and a contrast shade, which seemed to work really well actually. That's the kind of the green you get in there and on the legs. And then all these little cool bony bits were super, super fun. I think I just did them with, I think it was Baneblade Brown, also they're not in, Baneblade Brown base here and on the legs where you can see them. Then a Athonian Camo Shade wash, which I've decided was I tried a few different washes, and I decided the kind of green wash was the best way forward for that. And then Karak, all picked out in Karak stones. You get these wonderful kind of think of them like barnacles or something. I'm not sure what they're meant to be, but these lovely kind of bright spots which are bringing to life. And then this stuff here was something, all the pinky stuff, the gross pinky bits hanging down, was something like Rakarth flesh shaded with the Guilliman flesh contrast, I think. Dry brush with Kislev flesh, dry brush with Rakarth flesh, and then again these bits, I think all the spots, these horrible grimy little spots, they were kind of shaded with Caribou Crimson and then picked out in a Shabti Bone to make these kind of horrible white pussy spot things. And then I think I chucked some kind of Caribou Crimson shading into the recesses where you can hopefully see a kind of slightly reddy purpley hue in the shade in there. And then, yeah, there's the little suckers on the tentacles, see if I can get one of them, which I think are worth picking out, which I just did in the same way as the spots on the back legs. Again, a bit of purple shading in there. Picked out the claws, obviously, and it was really, really good fun. I was definitely under time pressure, but ultimately, I did enjoy painting this. I liked it. And I'm really, really happy with it. There's, I showed detail on the base. You've got a dead dwarf there, which you kind of have to paint, but a lot of it's covered up, which is kind of one of those real frustrations. You get to see him. There's another sneaky little dead dwarf in there. There's one with a cloak, under a cloak there, and there is another one that you can't see. There's that. You know, I wouldn't recommend not painting him just for the kind of completist in me, but I'm not even sure if you get some light in. But right inside there's another dead dwarf that you probably won't see. I'm really, really pleased. I really love this. I think I said at some point in the vlog, sorry if I'm repeating myself, that I've always liked this model. I've always enjoyed what GW did with it. And just holding it and painting it and assembling it, I just feel it even more. It's genuinely become one of my favourites in the range, and now in my collection. I don't have that many monsters, so it's cool to paint up these big kind of centerpieces, and it's just great. I think it's just really, really cool. I'm really, really happy with it. I went for the same kind of water effect that I went for on my tentacle bases, which is realistic water. Woodland Scenics realistic water mixed in with the Vallejo transparent blue, and it just didn't work as well on this one for some reason. I was it was the last thing I did. I was in a major rush. I think I just didn't mix it right or mix the right consistency. So it looks alright, but it didn't come out how I wanted it to. It should have been bluer, like darker blue essentially. But you know, who knows? And then round the front, I went for sand and tufts, as if he's coming out. Really fun thing was, what the hell base colour do you do this? Because it's obviously half water and half land, and I actually started off going with the land to match all my other bases and going with Morfang brown, but it just looked weird under the blue, and ultimately I thought primarily I'm painting this up for photography for SBG, and so she's gonna be on water. And I was thinking about the shots, and either we're going to be shooting her straight on like that, at which point you probably won't see the base rim, or we're going to be shooting her from this side, as if she's in the water, something like, it's really hard to position this, it'll be, how do you do this? Something like that. That'll be the angle you see, but in the water. And so what I thought was, in the water, if you see a brown rim, it's going to look really weird. If you see a blue rim, all you see is the rock. You never see the sand here, so it'll look like there's a rock coming out of water, and then maybe there's more water around the front. So I ultimately went with blue for the purpose of the photography, and I think that's the right call. I'm kind of tempted, like once that's done, to maybe do half and half. Is that insane? I've never done that before, but like a half brown rim where the sand is and a half blue rim. I don't know, but I did it with Stegadon Scale Green, which is a lovely. It's called green, but it is blue. It's a beautiful colour that I use a lot of. But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool, and I think it fits. I like the blue picking up the water, and I don't mind the blue on the sand here. It kind of fits with the aquatic theme. But yeah, there she goes. There she goes again, racing through my veins. If nothing else, the fact that this whole project has got me to paint this model after so long, it has made it all worth it. I did that, I think I pointed to it in one of the first vlogs or something, but I did this hobby vlog with James and Tom back in 2014 where I held up this very model and I was excited to get her painted. And I've wanted to do it for absolutely years, and now I'm really chuffed that I have. And she's going to be immortalised in the magazine forever, and it's a really cool model to kind of add to my collection that I'm really excited about. and I can't wait to take to the GT and get on the table. So yeah, feeling really, really positive about the Watcher, which is cool. Onwards! Ta-da! And the cliffs of Moria are finished. Here we go. It is done. Full disclosure on this one, funny old world, I'm actually back from the photo shoot. So we're going back in time. You're about to see, you're going to see in the future minute a clip at the photo shoot of using this. But I just ran out of time to kind of film a kind of glory shot of this before we went. So I wanted to kind of make sure I come back. It sort of makes more thematic sense to show you it finished before you see it in use. But yeah, that's a little explanation there, and will also help to explain these, which I'll get to in a minute. So here we go. I think it was semi-painted last time you got it. I think I've done some dry brushing. I think I did a few more dry brushes on the cliff, just using the standard scheme that I've used for everything else. The only thing is with the cliff, I didn't do the washes. I didn't do those final last weathering washes because I just couldn't be bothered. I knew that we wouldn't need it for the photos, and I knew I was going to be destroying it soon. So I thought I wouldn't kind of, there wasn't any benefit really to sticking all those kind of lovely GW expensive washes on, so I didn't do that. I obviously chucked down static grass on here, finished painting the gate, and did my standard PVA glue trick on here, which worked really well. It dried clear again, looked cool. We've also got the lights on the back here. I'm not sure how well they'll show up at this distance in daylight, but if I flick this on, hopefully you can, I think I can just dimly see the blue changing it. It works quite well. It did the job. You'll have to wait till the magazine comes out to see kind of how it looks in person, but I was pretty pleased with it on the day. Not bad. So again, thanks to Steve for sending that gate piece down. So there we go. And as you can see, it seems like there's some weird gaps in it. These are gaps. These have been carved out by my own fair hands. So it was finished Saturday morning, and by Sunday I was carving bits out of that. I'm not going to say too much about why that was. You can speculate away, but you'll be seeing the results of that in issue 12 of SBG. So as and when you get that issue, feel free to flick through and try and work out, or speculate in the comments below, why on earth I would have done this. Now, as I was carving into it, Tom was having a heart attack about my beautiful new cliff. But as I've said in the past, this is a temporary thing. This isn't a finished product. This is a means to an end. And as I'll probably talk about in the sign off of this video, as of today, later on today, which is Monday my time, this board won't even exist anymore. So this has served its purpose. I'm very proud of it, but I feel no guilt whatsoever about hacking into it, because that is what it was designed for. So I'm really, really pleased. I bought the foam for this on Sunday, I believe, and it was built Saturday morning. So Balin's tomb was Friday to Saturday morning. This was Sunday to Saturday morning. I'm bloody pleased that I managed to get this done, to be honest. In whatever that is that 6 days, I guess? 6 evenings, something like that. It looked cool. Like I say, we're back from the photo shoots. We've taken all the photos on it. It did its job. It did exactly what we needed to do, which is the important thing. And you'll be seeing it. You'll be seeing it in issue 12 of SBG, and that's the only place you'll ever see it again, because it's not going to exist. But as I said, more on that in the future. So all very positive stuff. Very happy with how that turned out. On to the next thing. So for this clip, we wanted to do something a little different, and I just wanted to show you the cliff in use at the photo shoot. So this is a bit of a teaser here for issue 12. You can see all the models set up on the cliff here. You can see that we're using the metal tentacle models, and they're fighting the Fellowship. They're all laid out. Hopefully here you can see the gate lit up, and you should be able to see a bunch of piles of little pieces of slate behind Gandalf there that are covering the join in the photo. You can sort of see our current setup here. Here's the lights around the back. See, it's quite powerful around the back, but it doesn't necessarily come out the front. Now, so we've got a couple of massive lights, we've got the camera, and I think we're just going to give you a vague idea here of the shot we're going to get. You have a look at that, and you'll notice it doesn't look like there's a hole between the gate and the cliff. Hopefully means I've done my job properly. But as we come round here, you should actually be able to see there's a lot of stuff going on in the background there, just kind of modelling like and stuff down there to cover it up. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a teaser about one of the photos to come in issue 12. Hello. So
new surroundings. Here I am on the photo shoot. We've reached it. I'm currently in at the studio at the SBG issue 12 photo shoot. It's a day since the last stuff I showed you, so you know I was recording late at night on Friday night, gradually getting the bits finished, just managing to get more done, and then a day later, here we are. It's the end of the night on Saturday, and we've completed the first day of the photo shoot, and that's kind of it for a lot of that stuff. There was a delay, like finishing things off took longer than I thought it would, or perhaps not longer than I thought I would, but longer than I hoped, and so I ended up getting here I think about 4:30. Ideally, it was only a few hours later, but I think ideally we'd hoped to start about 2 o'clock, so we lost a few hours, and roughly speaking, with all the setups, it's maybe a photo an hour or something like that, so we lost about 3 photos, but yeah, it is what it is. There was a lot to get done, but today, we managed to get all of the Balin's Tomb stuff done, and all of the Gates of Moria stuff done with the Watcher. So, just to be clear, that's the Balin's Tomb I made with Dave Frederick's Cave Trolls, and the Cliffs of Moria that I made with the Gate, and the Watcher in the Water. They've all been photographed. So, the last 4 weeks of these hobby vlogs, which have all been driving to this, are done. All that stuff's been photographed. It's complete. It's in the can. And tomorrow we move inside to the Dwarrowdelf. We're going to do tomorrow. The Bridge of Khazad-dûm, maybe, those kind of things, and some other stuff for the issue, of course. But yeah, so that's kind of it. And particularly for the Cliff of Moria, that's really it. That cliff was built for those photographs. They've been taken, and as you'll see in my next hobby vlog, that's it. That cliff is going to have the life of a moth and soon be repurposed entirely. But it felt like the time to kind of check in and sort of say, I think I showed a bit of footage of that cliff in action to document it. But it's been done, and we made it, we kind of got it ready. But yeah, that was being finished this morning. The cliff. Maybe finished at about 11 a.m. and then 5 hours later, it's in home being photographed for the magazine. So really touch and go stuff. But hopefully quite a happy ending for most of the stuff that we were making to that vlog. And so I think that's nearly it. I've got another long day of photographs tomorrow. My hope is that you'll be getting a kind of sign off from this video of some sort, I believe, that kind of looks at everything we've done and hopefully sets up part 3 of this, the third and final part of the road to the SBGT, as we've got 1 week to go until the GT. But yes, and right now I'm going to go and have a nice sleep and not worry about painting anything, and wake up tomorrow and take some more cool photographs. And we're done! Hello and welcome to the end of all things, kinda. This is the sign off for this video, and here we are. Little bit of kind of context. It's currently Monday. I'm back from the photo shoot. I wanted to do this little happy video on Friday or Saturday to kind of sign off the video, but there just wasn't time. I was just so scrunched. I think you've seen some of the finished clips, but I think the last time you saw me was kind of Friday night, and it was exceptionally late, and we just everything got delayed. Storm Eunice hit, which changed our travel plans, and everything just took longer than I wanted it to. But we got there in the end, largely. So let's just recap where we were 5 weeks ago with part 1 of this vlog, Road to the SBGT or whatever it's called, part 1 that launched. I had 5 weeks to paint 3 cave trolls, paint the Watcher in the Water, paint Celeborn, glue down Dwarrowdelf, make a Balin's Tomb, build and paint Amon Hen, and build and paint the Cliffs of Moria. And I have to say, do you know what? I'm pretty pleased. I think we've done all right. Let's see what we've got. You would have seen these things finished, but you saw Amon Hen completely finished last time, which got painted and textured, which was great. The Dwarrowdelf by Zahir got kind of glued down onto its baseboards. I built this Balin's Tomb board here in a week, which I'm really pleased with, and I built the Cliffs of Moria here. We've also, I don't think you can see them in there, but we've also got kind of leering over here. We have Gribbles McSplashsplash, the Watcher in the Water. Celeborn's down there somewhere, I think, on the Dwarad Elf. So Celeborn got finished as well. So we got everything we needed. As I said, I'm back from the photo shoot. It went so well. It went really, really well. In recent years, we've been doing these things over 3 days. We normally do sort of Friday to Sunday inclusive. This one was a day and a half. I ended up getting there about 4:30, I think, on Saturday. And we had a day and a half, and it was tough and it was long, but we got through it. We were helped by the fact that we didn't have to play any games this time, because we've done all those via Zoom, and the fact that it was just me and Tom, so we didn't have other people there, and the fact that the fellowship, even though the fellowship scenarios are a bit bigger than the ones in issue 11, like the kind of Journey to Rivendell ones, they're still relatively small numbers of models. Even if you've got a lot of goblins or a lot of Uruk-hai, you still only got the fellowship on the other side, and so I think that helps. But we worked flat out, and I think I left the studio at about midnight last night. So we really put in a good shift, and I'm so happy. I can't wait to kind of share all the pictures with you when issue 12 launches in May. But it came out really well. So we got everything done. Balin's Tomb, and it's all lived now. It's that crazy thing that the Dwarad Elf and Amon Ham have been finished for a while now, but Balin's Tomb, you know, the paint was wet when I was taking it to the shoot on Saturday morning. The same with the Cliffs of Moria, and then we'd finished with Balin's Tomb and Cliffs of Moria by the end of Saturday. We took all those photos there on Saturday night. So it was this really kind of crazy thing that, you know, as I said right at the start of, I think, part 1 of this vlog, these 2 bits of scenery were being built just for that photo shoot, and then suddenly you spend what would have been 5 weeks working on and off on them, and then what, 5 till 12, 7 hours later they're done, and there's no need for them anymore. It's a kind of bit surreal. It feels a bit like building a kind of movie set. So yeah, we got everything done that we needed to for the photo shoot, which is great. What didn't we get done? Well, sadly, as planned, actually, I think I said in the intro, Merry and Pippin. Merry and Pippin from Treebeard didn't get done, and do you know what? They didn't get close to being done. So it's a shame. As it turned out, when we were at the photo shoot, we could have really done with them. There was 2 pictures, I think, where we've ended up using the Breaking of the Fellowship ones, which are fine, but we were like, they would have been great for that kind of, because I know they come with the Treebeard kit, but they feel like they're fighting Uruk-hai, right? They feel to me like they're defending Boromir at Amon Hen. So there's a couple of pictures where they definitely would have been if they would have made it in if we got them done, but it's just one of those things. Like if something had to go, it was always going to be them. So you know what can you do? Sadly, as I said in that first video, they ain't getting painted now. They only had until now to be painted, and now they're going back in the case because I've just got no need for them. I think, this is being incredibly speculative, I think they'll appear in SBG issue 16. Is that right? Yeah, SBG issue 16, which should be coming out in May 2024. I think they might be in, which would be a February 2024 photo shoot. So I would guess maybe they'll be painted in about 2 years' time. Essentially, they're going to go back in the case now, and that's when they'll next come out. When I need them something like that, and such is their lot. Also, even more sadly, the 2 cave trolls didn't get done. These guys who were assembled 2 full weeks ago, they were ready to paint alongside the Watcher. They didn't get painted. I just ran out of time, and it would have been a huge disaster had, as I think I've pointed out earlier, Dave Fredericks not delivered us a chunk of cave trolls, really nicely painted metal cave trolls. So when you see, Balin's Tomb has been photographed with trolls in it, it's Dave Fredericks cave trolls. That's who you're going to see in the magazine, and that really took the pressure off me and allowed me to finish the scenery and the Watcher really, because I didn't have to paint those. Now those, I'm going to break my rule. I'm going to paint these. I'm going to paint these next. They're, unlike Merry and Pippin, I kind of need them for the GT, more on that in a minute, but also they're base coated and their bases are done, and I really want to get them done. So they are going to stay out, and even if I don't get them for the GT, they're going to be the next thing I paint. It's not a huge disaster for me, getting it done, because Dave did Dave did provide us the trolls, but it's annoyed me internally. But if anything was gonna fall, it was them. So that's fine. So yeah, when we set out to paint those models 5 weeks ago, we had 6 models to paint 5 weeks ago, and we got 2 of them done. We got Celeborn and the Watcher done. And no, it was 7 models, wasn't it? Because originally that was 3 cave trolls, and we abandoned the plastic one. So 7 models, and only 2 of them got done. But they were the important 2, and also had a fair bit of scenery stuff to do. So that's kind of where we are at the end of our 5 weeks. I'm really chuffed. I'm really bloody chuffed overall. Not just because I've now we made it through the photo shoot and the photos look great, but just looking at this table, I wanted to set it all out. This isn't bad for 5 weeks' work. If you had offered me on any other time, build and paint Amon Hen from scratch, build and paint Balin's Tomb from scratch, build and paint Crappy Cliff from scratch, build and paint the Watcher and do Celeborn, I was like, yeah, I'd take that. This is a good 5 weeks of hobby, and kind of is nice to sort of show. I don't know, I guess what you can do if you really put your mind to it. For me, you know, I was really pleased with it. And in the Watcher, as I've already extolled the virtue of it, I just love the Watcher. I think it's awesome. So I've also got a really super cool new model for my collection. So there we go. 5 weeks, what would we say? 90% complete. I'm pretty happy with it. It's gone well, these 2 vlogs. But the journey doesn't end there. Oh no. There's a part 3. As we laid out in part 1, it was 5 weeks until the photo shoot, but then another week until the GT. And so that's up next. And hopefully, if you've watched these 2 vlogs kind of back to back, you'll know that the Balin's Tomb board is becoming my display board. Some of this is also becoming my display board. And maybe I could even get a troll done. So we've got 1 more week now. It's not a week, frankly, it's 4 evenings. And once again, I'm thinking, that's impossible. But you know what? I thought this was impossible, and we got it done. So 4 evenings. Can we turn this into a functional, cohesive display board? Can we get a cave troll painted? And can we head off to Nottingham? And to find that out, you'll have to tune in for part 3 of this vlog series, which will hopefully be coming out very soon. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been a load of fun. Making it and documenting it, and I hope it's been a lot of fun watching it, and I can't wait to share it all with you when SBG issue 12 launches. Until then, I'll see you next time on Battle Streams of Middle Earth, either in my next vlog or on one of our fortnightly live streams on Friday night. I'll see you then. Take care.